Hello from Safonovo. This is a podcast pigeon of peace where we do discuss awesome skills of troubleshooters. Watch, listen, and check the description below for the details. Let's talk about wording and let's start with the definition.
I'm so lucky. This is the very rare occasion when it is should be explained English from English. I heard this word when I was working with guys from Motorola. They were engineers and they were sometimes talking some very strange words, and then they established special procedure and they called it wording. For example, they were saying about some registers, some operations, some cases, and I couldn't understand because they were like, I don't know, like 24, 25, and I was like 17. This was my first course of Kyiv Polytechnical Institute, so I was not aware about a lot of different stuff, but they have nobody to work with them except me, so they were forced first to give me some part of theory, and under this word wording, they mean that they will explain the exact part what we will do, how it will appear, and what will be the ideal result.
Well, when we try to use the wording and see like how exactly what parts of it consists. So what might be the structure? What might be the purpose of it? What might be the mechanics that people use in order to achieve the goal when they're trying to send or, like get the message delivered?
Maybe you've already forgot because you know me for like 3.5 years, but if you will be attentive, yes, you're attentive enough, but if you will be more attentive, what is going on, you will find that on the lectures, I do very strange things. Sometimes I give definition for 2, 3, or even 5 times with different angles. For example, when we are talking about motivation, I give like 50 definitions. If we talk about marketing, I will give like 20 definitions. While we're talking with about game of theory or theory of games, how to say it?
Games theory, yes.
Game theory, yes. Sometimes I would use such a way. I will tell the definition, then I will tell part of the theory, and then I will give the definition again. And yes, you are a very polite person and you're very kind, but for someone who has no patience, maybe it would be looking like I am out of mind, and sometimes I forget what I have already told. But there is a scheme how to do this. First, you should give the definition. Then you could give how you will apply what you're talking about. And then you should give definition once more. It's very strange, but it is the only way how you could put to another head the knowledge you want to transfer. It's not about just to give the knowledge, but to show that this knowledge would be encrypted with the same words. For example, if I would say like paragraph, it's several sentences which are divided by end of the line. But sometimes people will not understand. For example, the end of the page is not equal to the end of the line. So paragraph could be divided by the page, but it is the same paragraph. For example, do you remember about this lecture about styles? We were talking that sometimes the paragraph could be divided, and it is not good situation. So we will put on each side at least two strings, but strings is not equal to sentence. And this is so many words: string, sentence, paragraph, page, end of the line, end of the page. So these are fifths in the row, and should be very carefully described.
Well, I do believe when it comes to wording, it's not only the description, but maybe probably like a different angles. Maybe like one example. Recently, I was in the city Kazan, so there was like Kremlin, and during the nighttime, they're like a towers. So what they do like accents. So the moment you go around the entire building, you can see how the light goes to it. So you can actually understand, oh, there is actually a narrow window, or there is a floor, or there is like a bricks, and it's really like a old. So basically you need to go around and see it from a different angles. So speaking about what you said, like when it comes to wording, do you have to make sure that you showed all of the angles, or you just have to get the signal from the vis-a-vis or like the person who you're speaking to, that they get the message and you can move on?
You're lucky because you can make a drawing. So you have imagination of the painter. You should take like an empty sheet and put line after line, then feeling after feeling. People who are not aware and who are not able to make pictures, they sometimes will forget to tell about something. You know, on the communication lesson, previously when we meet all together in offline mode, I was sometimes take with me a book with best photo of National Geographics, and I will give to someone. For example, let's give it to you. And I will ask, Maxim, please, can you describe what we see on this picture? And no one, even me, I haven't seen. And you're describing like there is a woods, there is a lake, there is a, I don't know, some grass, there is some birds and some animals, and there is like smoke and fireplace and so like this. But when you will ask someone, everyone have some questions, and people will ask, okay, in which corner there is a sun, in which corner there is a fireplace, but then everyone will say, okay, we have already enough. But when you will show to everyone this picture, no one will draw the same picture, no one, everything would be mixed. And you know, it's a very strange situation. You are a very passionate person, you are very dedicated, you are very I don't know how to say, accurate, but anyway, you couldn't understand what people saw until you will make it like a painter, layer after layer. So you should explain to people the same way like you will make it while you're painting.
Yeah, sometimes I heard it a couple of times, and probably it could be relevant. They said like explain it so that your grandmother, like could understand it. But again, like it could be not so relevant for this case. And sometimes there might be a situation where like we deal with the delicate matter, like whether it's like some sort of like a tragedy or like a very sensitive time. So probably at that time, wording also could be our best friend, so that we can handpick, or how they said, like a cherry pick some words, and maybe make sure that like the message could be delivered, and we move like a carefully and not trying to like hurt. So how to actually deal with such situation? Because I do believe it's not only the wording, but maybe some sort of like a preps, some sort of like a context that need to put in the place in order to get it right.
I give you several examples. First, in the middle of the recording, you explain me the difference between divide and split. And to be honest, never before I was thinking about this. For me, all the words from all the languages, it's almost the same. For me, mistake or error, divide or split, it's almost the same, because I have no meaning, I have no wording. But when you will tell me that split is, we are divided because our will, and divided, it could be done by someone else. Now, maybe sometime I will use it in another mode, but maybe I will need like 3 or 5 mention like this. So you will tell to your daughter, okay, let's wash the floor. And your girl would, for example, make it with handkerchief, and you will explain, no, we should use mop. And then your daughter will take just dry mop, and you will say, okay, we should make it wet. And so after several mistakes, you will go with the girl, and you will make the floor less dirty as it was before. But maybe next time she will forget something. But maybe she will forget to put something on the mop. Maybe she will forget to put some, I don't know how to say, special liquid to the water to make it smell good, and to clean better some fat spots, and so on. The same, for example, could be when you will take my car. I will explain you, Maxim, I have a car, and I have some switches, and this switches for this, and this switch for this. For example, when I was having Lexus, like 400, it was like 15 years ago, there was a mode for pregnant. And if you will see it, you will be very worried. What is this? Is something this happened with your belly when you will press the button? And I will explain. There is for pregnant women, and when you open the door, you can press this button, and the car would change the angle, it would be much easier to sit. Then you should hold for special leverage, I don't know how to say, and then you will push the button and the car would stabilize. And this gives you some freedom when you have a huge belly. But if you do not know this, you will say, oh, you have an uncomfortable car.
Well, yeah, I do believe the point of view is also quite matter. Speaking of point of view, sometimes we also have to speak public, whether it's like a politic talks, whether it's, like we communicate on behalf of the business. And what I also noticed, like in all of the news, especially when it's like officials announce something, they either like a careful or saying bad things in a good words, or it could be like a vice versa. So I do believe wording is also important here. So what are main principles or main things need to be considered when we communicating on behalf of some sort of like a government entity or like a big business entity?
No, it's also my lovely story. If you will say to someone by your mouth or by writing in social network something like this, Friday at 12 o'clock on the railway station of Safonovo, on the main entrance of the train building, I would sell the cupcakes with I don't know, with blueberry for 100 rubles. After even, I don't know, 30 seconds, you will get all the questions. When you will do it? Who will do it? What you will sell? What's the price? What will be inside? When it would be started? And so on. And sometimes it is not enough even to say 2 times. Sometimes it's even not enough to give people papers where it would be written. When you will create huge projects, sometimes you will make a rehearsal. I will give you an example. It was one time when I was starting to roll out no staff technology. So I was thinking, okay, now we, with help of bank employee, give credit to the people. What if we'll hire for small part of salary people in the stores, and they will give not the credit, but fridges, vacuum cleaners, and fan. I don't know how to say fan.
Yeah, hair dry.
Hair dry. Yes, hair dryer. Thank you. So I ask, I have a team with five members, and I ask them, do you know what to do? And they, yes, okay. I told them, take just small part of the paper and write everything down, what you have. Table, chair, carpet, printer, notebook, wire, mobile phone, passport, and something like this. And we were playing this game like 10 times per day, 5 days. And just after the dinner in Friday, after, I don't know exactly, maybe like 60 attempts, we finally almost create as it should be. And all people were very angry, very tired, but they all understand. If we will start to make this rollout in real world, we will make so many errors, we will forget so many things. So this not just wording, just in pronunciation, but wording also like equalization of the picture of the world.
Well, we will move to maybe more or less like a funny part if we will find some funny examples of it, but wording in the products, wordings in the business, like a retail business or like any others. So what I observed when I recently was starting to use like a different products in Russia, the wording here is actually quite interesting. So it's like a less formal, it's a very witty, it's a very, like so casual, whether it's like a real products or like a banking products or any online products. For example, in one of the cafes, they said like, we do love your things, but we don't really give a crap about them. So make sure that, like you just watch them. So it seems like, yeah, they pass the message, they not sound official, and you remember that because it's like someone said it to you. So when it comes to wording towards your customers, whether it's online or offline, how exactly you should position yourself?
You will love this. I was working in Alpha Capital, this investment company, and the very first lesson I was taught, it was like this. If the client has a profit, you should say, we have a profit. But if a client have a loss, you should say you have a loss. And I was so angry. Why we always saying like this? Because we do not want to share the problems. So if something good, it is because of us. If something bad, it's because of the client. So when you talk with lawyers, when you talk with brokers, maklers, and so on, they will be very accurate in the words. And if even you will write them down, they know what to do. They are already prepared for the courtroom. You just think that they are dealing in your best interest. No, they dealing in their best interest.
Well, yeah, sometimes you need to consider who are the players and what are their goals. Then my last question will be how knowing about wording would help to make this world a better place.
Maxim, you know, it was a lot of times, and I will explain just one. It was a person who was trying to reach me for a very long period, and this person was not loved by me because this boy, he was living in the same hotel, in the same hostel while student time, and we have several fights and quarrel. But he was working for the competitors, and then he has sent me a card, business card with very fancy words. Okay, I will give you a dinner at the best restaurant in the city. Could you spend me some time with me and so on? Okay, and when we have met, suddenly we were sitting. Yes, it was a good restaurant, not the best, but good enough. And suddenly he ordered 2 business lunches. And I was thinking, how could I buy it? Yes, I was eating nothing. I was refused for everything, but it was one more drop in the glass of the missed promises. So wording is very important. What exactly we will do? For example, sometimes it would happen when you're going to travel somewhere and you will stay, for example, in Turkey, and you will be promised to have a best view room. Yes, the view would be best, but for example, you will have no toilet or something like this. So no one is going to lie to you, but something would be covered under unspoken.
Well, this actually reminds me of the words you said a couple of times, like don't need to fight with anyone, punish them by being successful. And we reviewed the skill of wording and how it could be helpful for you. Stay in peace.